it certainly feels like it's Tyler Shough. I will be shocked if it's not Tyler Shough. I've watched both games in totality with the Saints. The way the game's called, the way the commentators talk, it certainly seems like it's going to be Tyler Shough.
Kellen Moore naming Spencer Rattler the starter for the third preseason game is Kellen Moore naming Spencer Rattler the de facto starter for week 1 of the regular season. Spencer Rattler named quarterback 1. It's officially official, ladies and gentlemen. It don't get more official than a graphic. All right, the graphic has been put out. Kellen Moore has named his starter. It's Spencer Rattler. No one should be surprised. This was pretty obvious the entire time. I think after game 2, pretty much knew what we were doing. Honestly, after game 1, I think we had a pretty good idea of how this was going to play out. It played out that way. Now, I'll say the same thing I've said multiple times. This is nothing. You don't hang a banner because you're named quarterback 1 for week 1. You don't build a statue for being named quarterback 1 of week 1. It is now up to Spencer Rattler to perform. It is now up to Spencer Rattler to be at that good that he never relinquishes the job. That's it. Bottom line. If Spencer Rattler is bad week 1, 2, 3, 4, Tyler Shough will be the starting quarterback week 5. So, cool. It is what it is. Saw it coming. All right. Now, be good. Now it's time to put the quarterback battle behind us and focus on the New Orleans Saints. Focus on some more of the pressing matters like offensive line. We just made a trade today. Love the trade. Mickey's in his bag. Loved it. So we're going to see who's going to play the guard positions. Will Torricelli Simpkins fit in there? Landon Young's hurt now. Where do they move Radens? How do they? When will Penning come back? What do you do with Ruiz? Like, a lot's going on. Okay. Now today, ton of waiver action, ton of cuts, ton of releases, ton of contract terminations, whatever. We'll talk about that as well. But real quick on the quarterback thing. Now, the reason why I think it was obvious that they were going to go with Rattler is that it gives Kellen the most options. If Rattler plays, then you have if Rattler plays well, you have the option to leave him in there. You have the option of seeing how he's performing, how the team reacts to him, whatever. You give Shough time to develop. I think if you watched the preseason with, an unbiased view, you could tell Shough needed a little more time to catch up to the speed of the game, to have his processing meet kind of the NFL speed. I think it showed, or it looked like a lot of the time he was you could see him thinking. You could almost see him be like, read 1, read 2, read 3, step, and then, so it is what it is. And if Rattler is bad or below average or whatever, and the team is bad or below average or whatever, and you do get to the point in the season where you're 4-10 or 4-9 and you're mathematically eliminated, now you've got the ability to go to Shough, see what you have in him, whatever, just to explore, right? But if you start Shough, it complicates everything. So, makes sense. I think they'll give Spencer every opportunity to succeed. The next question is, okay, well, for how long? That's up to Rattler. Like, that question sounds like a question for Kellen Moore. Spoiler, that's a question for Spencer Rattler. Because if Spencer Rattler plays well, if the Saints are winning, if they're competing, if the offense looks good, whatever, he won't get benched. If he struggles, if he throws interceptions, if the offense is stagnant, if there's no development throughout the year, he'll get benched. So that's a question for him, 100%. Lastly, I actually recorded a video before this announcement came out that was kind of talking about this, but I don't think you should look at it like Tyler Shough is a loser or lost or struggled or was bad, thus Spencer Rattler became the starter. Au contraire, I think Tyler Shough was pretty good this preseason. And I think if you look at the rest of the rookie quarterbacks, he's comfortably ahead of some of the guys like Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Kyle McCord, obviously, who just got released, Quinn Ewers, players like that. If you did a redraft, I think it would probably go Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, and Tyler Shough. Now, it might go Jackson Dart, Cam Ward, Tyler Shough, I don't know. But I think he was fine. And honestly, he's kind of graded harder than the other rookies because he's truly competing for a job. Cam Moore's not competing for a job. He's the week 1 starter. Jackson Dart's not competing for a job. Russell Wilson's the week 1 starter. Jackson Dart can kind of free roll. He can, if he looks good, he looks good. If he looks bad, who cares? He has time to develop. Tyler Shough wasn't afforded that. Tyler Shough was viewed through the lens of, can he play week 1? Is he a week 1 starter? And every mistake he made, like the pick 6, was amplified because of that. I think it's totally fine for him to sit. I think it's totally fine for him to learn and develop and take a few weeks, however long that may be. And now, like I said 2 minutes ago, Spencer Rattler may be the starter all year long. This could be a Brock Purdy situation. I hope he is. I'm rooting for Spencer Rattler. I love him like a brother. Nobody loves Spencer Rattler more than me, right? So I don't want this to look, I don't want the comments to be the Tyler Shough pick was a waste, because we don't know that yet. And a whole lot more football has to play out before we can go back and retroactively look at that pick. Now, the Isaiah Foskey, yeah, you can say that was a waste. He just got waived, right? He just got cut. But we're way, if you're commenting and saying, I wish we had Will Johnson, I wish we had whoever, Donovan Ezeuruki, whoever, like instead of Tyler Shough, it's way too early for all of that. So, but let's take a look at the cuts real quick. You know what's kind of crazy about this? Look at, it really shows you how bad the Saints were last year, or the situation that they were in. Because look at how many people were like legitimate starters, high-level players that are no longer on the team from last year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was our starting running back. Shane Lemieux was our starting center and guard. Dante Pettis was a starting wide receiver and kick returner. Stone Cold Kevin Austin was a starting wide receiver. Isaiah Foskey was playing. Jake Haener started a game. Rico Payton was our highest graded cornerback. Let's see. And then if you also, you could also say MVS, who we let walk. MVS was a starting wide receiver. Jordan Mims, who we let walk, was our starting running back. Derek Carr, who retired, was our starting quarterback. Dennis Allen, who got fired, was our head coach. Like, you look at just last year, and this list right here, it's really amazing. Connor McGovern, we let him walk. He was our starting center. It's amazing how the players that we were relying on last year, they couldn't even make the team this year. That's how in flux last year was. Guys that are our starting running back, 1 and 2 wide receiver, starting quarterback, head coach, starting center, starting guard, they're not even, they just see ya. Couldn't even be our 3rd string whatever. Couldn't even be our 4th string whatever. Just straight up see you later. Now remember, you have to clear waivers. If you clear waivers, there's a chance you could end up back on the practice squad. I've seen a lot of people say Trayton Welch is a candidate for that, where Trayton Welch, a lot of people expect him, if possible, to be brought back on the practice squad. A couple guys that are interesting. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is interesting. Frees up the room for Kendre Miller. Frees up the room for Devin Neal. Some questions about, okay, well, what do you do with pass blocking downs? But it gives you an idea of, all right, it's Alvin Kamara and then Devin Neal and Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller is going to have every opportunity to be good. Like, Kendre Miller, he could have got buried on the depth chart and he could have got lost, but I think he played good enough to where he will be utilized. And I know, he's a polarizing player during his time with the Saints, but Kellen Moore and these guys saw something in him. And if you're a Kendre Miller stan, this release right here, big news for you. Big news. So, big shouts to him. He's going to have every chance to put together a really good year. And he'll be the Saints' go-to back when Alvin Kamara is on the field. Taysom Hill, Foster Moreau on the PUP list. Shouldn't be surprising anybody. Taysom Hill, when did he get hurt? December. So I wouldn't think he's ready to roll anytime before then. That would be kind of wild. But yeah, I mean, what a crazy offseason. And now it has landed here. It's now landed in Spencer Rattler's court. And Spencer Rattler is the starting quarterback in the New Orleans Saints. I think he earned the job this preseason. I think he could have lost it for sure if he came out, looked bad, offense looked bad, whatever. But he didn't. And kudos to him. He's a gamer. He's a baller. He's a bulldog. He's all those things. We know that. But now you got to put it together. And all the Rattler snake emojis in the chat, cool, fun. It's a lot easier to type those emojis on August 26th than after a bad performance. So it's up to Rattler to keep the momentum going. I have full faith he can do it. He's got to find it. I think Rattler can become Baker Mayfield, a version of Baker Mayfield. I think he's got it in him. Very similar player, very similar skill set, very similar, obviously, physically. I think he can do what Baker does. Now, remember, Baker got ran out of Cleveland. Baker got ran out of Carolina. Baker got ran out of Los Angeles before he figured himself out. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, what? Baker Mayfield's an elite. He's the seventh best quarterback in the NFL, whatever. He wasn't when he was in Carolina. Okay. Rattler, it's his time. Can he grab the brass ring? But I think that's where Rattler's ceiling is. If you're talking about like what's his ceiling, what are we looking for? What do we want to see from him this season is taking steps towards that. He can be reckless at times with the ball, no turnovers, no turnover-worthy plays. He's got to hit the routes when they're there, like the Rashid route that he missed against the Broncos. He's got to hit those, and those are game-changing plays. And for a team, like the Saints, who they're going to need a little bit of magic in these games, can't miss those. I think Kellen will ask him to be a game manager. I think Kellen will protect him. Kellen's proven that he can get quarterbacks into the best position to win, and I think he'll do that with Rattler. It is now up to the offensive line in the running game. Can Alvin Kamara run successfully, and can he be the engine of this offense? And when needed, can Rattler find Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed? That's the offense. The offense is through the running game, controlling the clock, playing with tempo, hitting the open guy. It is not going to be Spencer Rattler playing 7-on-7 every week. That's not how we're going to win. We're not going to win with Spencer Rattler throwing the ball 65 times. Not how we're going to win. We haven't seen Alvin Kamara have a carry since last year, since week 14 of last year. So against Arizona, that's what they're going to do. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, Jonathan Gannon is going to try and stop Alvin Kamara and try and stop that running game and force Spencer Rattler to beat him. Okay. Can we get enough out of the running game to where it's not Rattler throwing the ball 65 times? Can the offensive line be good enough against a team that's going to try and stop the running game? And can Rattler take what's there? If Gannon says, if Rattler beats me, Rattler beats me, then it's up to Kellen and Rattler to find the holes in the defense and to exploit them. And you can't miss throws like you did to Shaheed if that's the case. I'm ecstatic for this. I'm thrilled. I'm excited we got here. I'm excited we've got to this point to where now we've got 2 weeks basically. The team knows, fans know, everyone knows. 2 weeks, Arizona, Spencer Rattler show. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments below what you think. Go ahead and tell me, wow, James, you called this 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? And if you're, if you have previously commented and said, bro, no way, Tyler Shough's going to be the starter, you're a fool, blah, 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 you don't have to apologize. It's okay. We're all friends here. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.